what's up, 208 family? Thanks for hanging out with us on a Sunday evening. Happy Father's Day to all of you. I hope you've enjoyed it, but we got some football to talk about. Let's jump into it. Hey, 208. Justin, good to see you. Happy Father's Day, my friend. I hope you had a great day. Did you do anything fun, interesting?
Nope. My wife, we were at church and she's like, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I just want to sit at home and do absolutely nothing." So that's what I did. I did a little football stuff for the high school, just trying to figure out some stuff, and then just basically was a bum.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, right? That's the best Father's Day gift ever. I don't want to do anything. That's great. Yeah, we got to spend some time with my father today. I had a big barbecue and with my brother and him, and our families got together. So lots of fun. It's always good to get together. Honestly, we probably don't do it enough. But and then my kids took us to breakfast this morning. Took me to breakfast this morning, which was fantastic. So kind of a busy day, but we are here ready to talk some football for you guys. Hopefully, we can get you guys squared away on some stuff. And again, we want your guys' feedback. So, man, hopefully you're join us. Leave some comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. Just helps out the channel, as you guys know. But let's jump right into it and let's talk about a little NFL news.
What's going on?
Justin, what you got for us?
All right, Matt. I have a question. How do you feel about the Shamar Stewart stuff? The rookie holding out from Bengals, mini camp, training camp, all that stuff.
Yeah. So before I ask, will you give some context to our viewers in case they don't know what's going on?
Okay, so I feel like he's getting a ton of backlash. Like, first of all, I think Shamar Stewart was not a good draft pick, in my opinion. He's only ever had 4.5 sacks. He is a physical freak. He is freaky athletic, all twitched up. Like, I think he's like 6'4", 270. He ran like a 4.5. Like, he is a freaky athlete. So they're betting on traits there. So what happened is they basically have this contract. He's not going to sign it because it's basically voiding any guaranteed money if he defaults on any years of his contract. So if he gets injured, whatever it is, they're basically taking out all his guarantees. With the NFLPA, most of these rookie contracts are pretty much done, or they should be done because they're all escalating. So, like, the first round pick is going to get, the first overall pick is going to get paid more than the second. It's a little bit less going as we go pick by pick. So, the Bengals, they just do some shady stuff. So, he just wants his contract to mirror, not money-wise, but void-wise, as Miles Murphy, their previous 2 years ago first round draft pick, and then Amir Smith, they drafted last year. So they basically tried to take that money out or take those guarantees out for him. So he's like, I'm not signing this contract. Bengals rookies and Bengal veterans had told him not to sign that contract as well.
Yeah, it's tricky. I'm not sure what the Bengals are trying to do here. I mean, I was very, I don't know why they're doing it. I was very impressed with the Bengals to get Chase signed, to get Higgins signed, and do all the right things, and then this rookie contract comes through, and they're kind of, I don't know, backstep a little bit, trying to figure it out. I think at the end it'll all get worked out, but oh my goodness, so weird. I'm not really sure why. They just need to get it done.
Yeah, the Bengals are almost like opposite of the Eagles. Like, the Eagles always do deals like 2 or 3 years in advance to try to get ahead of the money, and the Bengals are like, we'll just wait till the last year. That's why Chase got so much money. Because, like, once Jefferson signed, like, he's like, sweet, like, I'm going to get paid. Like, you guys are going to pay me a lot of money. And they're the same thing with Trey Hendrickson, like, who's a very good, he was a sacks leader last year. They're still not paying him either. And it's just this banter back and forth. Like, Bengals are a very weird franchise.
Yep. It's weird. They need to get it pulled together because they do have a very good squad this year. They did get a lot of the defensive guys, right? They drafted a lot, like all defensive guys. So they have the offense. I think they got a young and upcoming defense. They're contenders for sure. So, well, something we'll keep an eye on for sure.
Yep. So some running backs got signed that we barely missed on Sunday. Cam Akers to the Saints. Dobbins to the Broncos, so RJ Harvey maybe gets a little bit of water on that fire that has been burning all offseason. And then Nick Chubb, who's someone we will talk about, going to the Texans.
Yep. I do. Look, we were very, very big on Harvey on this channel. And I wish Chance were on, because he is our Denver guy. He just absolutely loves the Broncos. And we had talked a little bit offline about it, so I think it's worth talking just briefly. In my opinion, well, let me start with you. Your opinion in Dobbins in that backfield now.
The only thing that kind of surprised me was the money. So he got the same contract that Najee got. So again, Sean Payton is not one to focus really primarily on one back. We really want that pass catching back, which should be RJ Harvey. But like, I'm a JK truther. Like, I finally had to get off that horse. So with this news, this is just a tip in Dynasty, at least. The Dobbins things come through, and I started getting offers on Dobbins. I'm like, sweet. I'm just going to offload him now because I don't believe in it. He has 2 big leg injuries. He's 26. So I actually got a 2026 third and a 2027 second for Dobbins, which I was like, sweet, let's go. So I don't know if any one of these signings is going to really do anything for any of these teams, especially for fantasy.
So here's my take on it, and then I'm not overly worried about it. I think they brought in a veteran guy, right? You got McLaughlin, who's only been in the league a 3 years. Estime, and of course they got Harvey, and they absolutely love Harvey. Everybody knows that. That's nothing new. The thing that makes me feel better about it is they got him after OTAs, right? Late. And I think they looked at Estime and McLaughlin and said, we need more. We got to have a little backup who's out there. And Dobbins, you're right, is a good running back. I don't think he's going to impact Harvey at all. Maybe a little bit early on, but I'm not worried. I still love Harvey. So anyway.
Right. And then the last couple things, Breece Hall is already getting leaked right now as a trade candidate if the Jet season goes south. Like, so just be aware of that, however you feel about that. And then Keon Coleman
goes somewhere good.
Yeah, Keon Coleman had an interview, a press interview or whatever, and they're like, "Give us your self-assessment." He said some expletives. He said, "I was trash last year." So it's funny to see how players react to how they are during the season. I'm super interested to see how Keon does this year. Again, his some of his metrics, his separation metrics weren't great, but it'll be interesting to see how he is.
Yeah, they didn't really bring anybody in, so.
Nope.
Yeah, that's the news. I think everybody. We are going to jump right into what we're meat and potatoes, right? I think I need to do an intro for meat and potatoes because that's what I always bring that up. Meat and potatoes. Here we go. We're the Idaho guys. Love our meat and potatoes.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get into the AFC South breakdown, right? So here's your AFC South teams. And again, we will use our data, which is our just our average draft positions and rankings and stuff via our friends from Fantasy Pros. So let's jump right into it, and let's start with the Texans. Last year they were 10-4. They did get into the playoffs as a number 4 seed. They did beat the Chargers in that first round, lost to the second round. And Justin, you have them pretty much with the same record. And interesting. We're in my mind, I'm like, I thought they might be a little worse, but you kind of like them where they're at.
So they bring in a new OC, one of McVay's one of McVay's henchmen. It feels like they just recycle guys. They got rid of Bobby Slowick. CJ Stroud came out and said he didn't have really any say over the line of scrimmage stuff. It was very much, hey, we're going to call this play. This is where your first read needs to be, so on and so forth. So he feels like he has a little bit more flexibility in this offense. I know Matt's biggest holdback from this particular team is their offensive line. They traded probably their best offensive lineman this offseason to the Commanders in Laremy Tunsil. But they went and signed Cam Robinson. I really like their second-round pick, Ursula from Minnesota. Just a giant person. If you ever get to watch YouTube highlights on him, he is a huge person. Mock drafts last year, he was going in the top 5. So they got him in the second round. It'd be interesting if he plays right tackle. So, again, their offensive line was horrible last year. It's probably not going to be good this year. And Hopefully, CJ Stroud again doesn't have that sophomore slump. But I'm pretty excited about these Iowa State, not Idaho State, Iowa State wide receivers.
Yeah, and let's jump right into it with the players there. So we've got them listed here. Again, these come from our friends from Fantasy Pros and position rank ADP as of current. Right, we know that's going to change as the season gets a little closer, and then where you can get them in what round. So CJ Stroud, he did come out earlier this year and said, "Hey, I'm ready to be a leader. I'm ready to take on that role." And my thought was, haven't you been a leader? He did have a little bit of a struggle compared to his first year, coming into his third year. He's position ranked 17th in ADP 110. You get him in the 10th round. Justin, your thoughts on him in this position rank? Is he somebody you're going to snag up if he falls to you, or who would you rather have around him?
Can you tell me the quarterbacks that are going around him real quick? If you could pull it up. While Matt's pulling that up, I might talk a little bit about him. So CJ Stroud, again,
you got
it. Me and Matt play a lot of Dynasty. So I remember last year, so before he had this big season, he was valued as a quarterback 3 in Dynasty, which was crazy. Now he's down to the quarterback 11. His first year, his rookie year, he finished as a quarterback 11. And then this year, again, finished as the quarterback 18. I think new offensive coordinator, the little scary, maybe him being able to have a little bit more trust from that offensive coordinator in what he is doing makes me pretty hopeful. But the thing that makes me the most hopeful is I feel like they doubled down on him. Like Tank Dell was someone that I love watch playing, but it feels like I don't know if he'll ever touch the field again. We'll see. But they go out and they get Noel, they get Higgins, who I'm a big Higgins fan in general. Nico Collins, if you guys remember, was pacing as the wide receiver 1. And then he basically busted his hamstring. But Nico Collins was having a year. I think the weapons that the Texans have, I think they'll be a little bit more pass happy. I think they're going to really let CJ Stroud just go with it. So if he's a quarterback 17, I feel like that's a pretty good bargain right now.
Yeah, so around him, Love goes 1 pick before him. Drake May's behind that. Trevor Lawrence is a few picks behind that. Fields and Herbert are a few picks before. Just throwing some guys out if you're in the quarterback in that market. There might be some other players you like, but just in the quarterback market there.
Yeah, I think if you draft Nico Collins, you probably should look for the stack with CJ Stroud if you're in a redraft league.
Yeah, I think people might be a little more down on him than what I am because he had such kind of I won't say a very good season last year. But remember, Diggs was putting up elite numbers before his ACL, and then it was kind of like, dang, right? So I think there's good value here. I wouldn't shy away from him. Plus with new offensive coordinator. So moving on to Mixon. So their running backs, Mixon and Chubb. I want to talk about Mixon before we get to Chubb. Mixon proved both of us wrong in the first part of the season. He looked very, very good, almost out of necessity. So he's position ranked 19, ADP 58. You got to get him in the 5th round if you're going to get him. I'm probably off of Mixon again. I'm probably not taking him.
The wheel got to fall off eventually, man. Sheesh.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just kind of like, no, I'll hold for now. Let me get back to here. I think I'm going to not take Mixon. And I think, Chubb might be impacting that a little bit. Do you want to talk about Chubb?
Man, Chubb. Chubb and Mixon, I feel so counter about because Mixon has, I don't know. Chubb's such a good running back. Like he's been so good. Like in the standard wise, he just has such bad luck running the ball. Their running back group is so weird to me. Like they have Chubb, they have Mixon, they have Dameon Pierce. If you remember, was one of the fantasy darlings as a free agent guy. Coming in, really leading the league, having 1,000 yards, and they drafted Woody Marks. So they have a ton of running backs in here that they're going to have to cut ties with at least one of these guys. And I think it's going to be Dameon Pierce. I think he's going to be the odd man out.
I agree.
I think they're really gonna split the load between Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb. Joe Mixon feels like he's like 35 years old, but he's still only 28, which is crazy to me. I think Joe Mixon will get still a decent amount of passing work. Woody Marks caught the ball decently well out of USC, right? Is that where he's from?
I believe so.
So I think they'll be a little bit more even with these three guys and let them. I think it'll be a little bit more split backfield. I don't think Mixon will be the head honcho as he was last year.
Yeah, I'm avoiding this backfield altogether. So just for reference, in about the same place you can get Mixon at 58, I can get RJ Harvey 1 pick sooner. I can get Kenneth Walker a few picks sooner. I can get Travion Henderson, right, a few picks later. So to me, I'm like, nah, I'll wait. Even David Montgomery goes a few picks later than that. So I just like those other guys' upside better out of that. Let your league mates mess with this backfield. I'm just going to steer clear. Even Chuba Hubbard is around that. I would rather have Chuba Hubbard over Mixon. So
nice.
Wide receivers here. You can see him. Nico Collins, no brainer. Position 8 ranked. He's ADP, so he's really the early second round. And they're a little bit messed up in order, but Higgins is actually 52, Kirk is 59, Noel 72, and you're going to have to get them in rounds 9, 11, and 15. So Nico being the number 1 here for sure, Justin, which in the second round seems a bit early to me, but let me know your thoughts on Nico. Do you take him there? And then who's going to be the number 2 here? What are your thoughts?
Listen, I'm taking Nico all day there. Like his first 4 games when he was just popping off, it was 14, 23, 10, 27. Then he busted that hamstring against Buffalo, was out for the next 9 weeks. Hamstrings are just hard. I think Matt can kind of attest to that. I think River had some hamstring stuff when he was playing football a little bit.
I've had hamstrings. It's awful.
Yeah, man,
it's miserable.
They're just really naggy. Even in the wild card, like he had 122 yards. The divisional, he had 81 yards, 8 targets. Like, he is a target monster. Like, I think if he would have finished out last year the way he was going on, he's the first-round draft pick. I think in the second round, I'm going to pay that price every time. I'm totally fine taking him in the second round as a second-round pick. I think this offense is going to throw the ball around. Let CJ try and win him some games. I think the number 2 in this offense is Higgins. He is your typical X. I think Nico's going to be a little bit more. Nico Collins is a huge person, so is Higgins. They just have 2 really big receivers, and they're going to let Noel take over that slot role that Diggs had.
So you're sitting at 12, right? Let's say you're the 12th pick. Around that, you go. Let's say you get the 12 and the 13, right? Obviously, do you go Nico and BTJ, Nico Henry, Nico Drake, Nico Achane? Right, what do you like there?
Nico Achane is a fun stack for me. That's a fun one. That's a fun one for me. There
you go. Schultz, 27th ranked for your position ranked, and ADP is 195, late 7th round or 17th round, but is viable because I think you're right. I think they're going to throw the ball a little bit more than what we're going to see. So, or what we're used to. Moving on to the Colts. The Colts, interesting vibe here. I sometimes don't know what they're doing.
I can't do it.
They were 8-9 last year. They missed the playoffs, and I agree with Justin. Justin did these projections for us. I think they're going to be a little bit less. They're going to slip again, but it's tough. So, okay. So here we go. Justin and I talked about this a little bit. I did put Anthony Richardson up here. He right now he's ranked.
Best guy.
Yeah. He was. I was so big into him last year. I was dead wrong on that. But he's position ranked 28th. His ADP is 165, and he's a 15th round guy. And I will tell you, according to our friends at Fantasy Pros, as of right now, Daniel Jones is behind him. But I think we both agree, Justin, Daniel Jones will be the starting quarterback here. But I don't. Do you want either one? Let me start there.
No, if you're taking shots at lower quarterbacks like Drake May, I think Daniel Jones is a good add-on. If you're taking shots on those boomer bust guys, like I think Daniel Jones is a good option because he's going to run the ball a little bit. He definitely has a higher floor. Same with A-Rich. Anthony Richardson just can't stay healthy. Like, don't draft players that get hurt. Like, I've been burned by that so many times. Like, it's either you can have the boat or you can have the mystery package. and like don't pick the mystery package. Just pick the boat. Just know what know what you're gonna get. Like, so I would pick Daniel Jones over A-Rich.
Yep. And I did notice it looks like they've updated this since I last did this. He is now at 200, Anthony Richardson, and so he's slipped quite a bit here. Daniel Jones is 190. So again, if I'm getting a second quarterback, I'm going to take like a Stafford or who else is sitting there? Cam Ward, right? I'd much rather have those guys over either one of these guys. So
correct.
And if you guys are a very smart audience, you see this, but just look at the rounds for just your average round. You're picking up the Colts players. They're all, I mean, outside JT's second round, 17th round, 10th round, 15th round, or later. There's nobody on this team I really want. So moving on to the running backs, I just brought him up with JT's the position ranked 9. Is he going to be the workhorse and you have to pay a second round price to him? Do you want him?
I'm pretty sell high on JT this year. So just a quick fact about JT. So this is kind of like my hot take with JT. So everybody's flying high from JT. His last 4 games, he went off. Like, Matt, you could probably look up his last 4 games if you want for me. I just have percentages. So I think his fall off begins this year. Like, I think you should have traded either JT right now, or when the season's closer, or when you get to the trade deadline and one of those teams is, and you're not a contending team, whatever it is. I guess dynasty wise, that's what I would do. So going against those four bottom 5 defenses, he had 39% of his season points those last 3 weeks. Like, he went off. Like, he was going crazy, but the defenses he was playing were atrocious. So I think especially in Dynasty, he is a sell while you can guy. Do I think he still has 1 or 2 more good years left? Obviously, yes. I would not take him to redraft this league. I would redraft this league this year. I'd rather have Nico this year. If I was to pick between those 2 that we just talked about, Nico would probably be a guy that I'd like a lot more.
Yeah, just reference. So he did have 100 yards against Denver on 22 carries, and then he played Tennessee, New York, and Jacksonville. All of them nearly 30 carries or more for 218 yards, 3 touchdowns, 125 and 2 touchdowns, and 177 and 1 touchdown. So for 6 total touchdowns in the last, 3 games, which is crazy. Not sustainable by any stretch. So guys around him that, he's going to get the workload. You're hoping he can stay healthy, but I would rather have, give me Bucky, just a little bit later, right? Give me Chase Brown a little bit later. Those guys I'd rather have, and I could sit and wait. So
yeah, JT's just hard because he's such a big name, because he had that year 2 years ago where he did. He just killed it. And so he's so hard to get off of because of his name. Just get rid of that stuff. Just try your best to get rid of the name value. It's like buying an Apple phone. It's Apple, so we're gonna buy it because it's an Apple phone. So it's just hard to get off the name.
Who else is also climbing up in that backfield? Nobody's worried about Khalil Herbert, kind of an older, right? He's just on the team. But the rookie, DJ, climbing the draft boards a little bit, moving up. He's a guy to keep your eye on. I do like him. If there's something where JT gets hurt and he's a super late round flyer, let's say you did get JT, don't be afraid to burn a pick on DJ for sure. I think he could back up. He is a very, very good football player. So I do like him a lot. So for the price you're getting.
100%.
Moving on, wide receiver. So the usual suspects here. Pittman, who we've said forever is going to be good. Up and down. Pierce and Downs. Pittman, 49th ranked, 115, 10th round. All these players are 10th. And so Downs and Pittman, 10th round. Pierce, 17th round. Maybe Pittman? I don't know. Justin, thoughts?
I'm pretty out on Pittman and Pierce, but I do love me some Josh Downs. I think he has a really, really good shot to be a fantasy darling this year. I think he's right in Daniel Jones' wheelhouse of what he likes, just running a lot of intermediate stuff. Pittman is good receiver. They have a big out on him next year, and Alex Pierce is going into a contract year. So I'm pretty big in on Josh Downs, maybe taking him in 10th or the 9th round. I think he can be a huge league winner this year. Like I'm super down on Josh Downs. I mean super up, not down.
Yeah, I'm not going to add anything. I agree 100%. I'm going to roll with the exact same thing you just said. No sense. Out on Pittman. I'll gamble with Downs for sure.
Yeah, Pittman.
Pierce super late on flyer.
Back stuff is scary for NFL football players, and Pittman's had some back issues.
Yep, agreed. And so the rookie tight end Warren, right? So interesting, will they move him around? Will they use him in some Wildcat like they did were in college? Right now he's the 12th, right? So he's a top 12, 116. You can get him pretty late in the 10th round. I'm pretty sure somebody in your league is going to get him before the 10th round. They're going to reach on Warren. So just keep that in mind. But give me your thoughts on Warren.
I think the biggest upside going into the draft was, like Matt said, like he would get some Wildcat stuff, but they have two guys that run the ball pretty dang well. Like, let's not forget, Daniel Jones is a pretty good athlete. Like he's gonna run the ball. They'll run some QB dive off with him, some QB sneaks, whatever you want to call it. So I don't think Tyler Warren will be used that way. Again, I don't think he'll have a big year like we've seen the last 2 years out of Bowers and Laporta. They just went into better situations. I feel the same way with Colson as well. They're just not in the same situations as Bowers and Laporta were. They're just not as good as offenses. There's not as much target share there, whatever you want to call it. So I think keep your expectations really low when it comes to Warren.
Yeah. He is one of those guys who's going to, if he does break out, it'll be later in the year or next year once they get him figured out. They got to get the quarterback thing figured out more than anything else. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, they'll be drafting a quarterback for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All in all, I'm probably steering clear of all the coast players. I think there's players in these areas that you can get that have much better upside. So
correct.
Keep that in your mind when you're going. And again, we will cover all this stuff as we get closer to the season. Jaguars, again, last year, missed the playoffs, 4-3. And they've made some pretty fun moves. And they got with Brian Thomas Jr. last year. Did not surprise us. We were very high on Brian Thomas Jr. last year, BTJ. We told you, and we hoped you got him. I think he won some leagues for people. And now they go and get another player, which we'll talk about in a second. Justin, you got him at 9-8 with a potential to make the playoffs.
Yep. Yeah, I think they're going to be really scary. Liam Cohen, the addition, is a huge one for me. That's why I see the record.
Yeah, I agree. So let's jump into the players and see what we got here. And this kind of rounds out our AFC South breakdown. But Trevor Lawrence, 19, get ADP as 119, 10th round guy. Tell me your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence. Is this a make or break year for him?
So someone was asking me for trade advice. So since we host this podcast, we have a few people that always reach out to me for trade advice, what I think. And it's hard because I don't want to really give them the advice because I want to hold it dearly. Like, it's my opinion. So they're asking me, and Matt, I want to get your same answer. He was going to trade Jordan Love for Trevor Lawrence. What are your thoughts on that?
Ooh. I'll tell you what, we're going to talk about it in a second, but with the addition of Travis Hunter, I want T-Law. I want T-Law there. It sounds crazy. You're like, but Matt, wait a minute. But wait a second. Hold up. He's a defensive player. But yeah, no, hold up. Go ahead, Justin.
Like, Trevor Lawrence, he's had some injuries. Like, let's not forget, he was a generational prospect. He has a little bit of criteria why we should bet on him. He's had a quarterback 10 finish. He's had one, and it was his second year. Hopefully, Liam Cohen coming in, an offensive guy. He helped Baker. I didn't think that offense was going to be good, but he really helped Baker with the little things, the little checkdowns. The Bucks transferring to the Jags, they have a very similar skill set. You have a big wide receiver, a big fast guy that could be your Mike Evans and Brian Thomas. You have someone that I think is better than Chris Godwin in Travis Hunter. You have Diami Brown, who had a really good year with the Commanders, with a rookie quarterback in Jay Daniels, and Brett Strange, who's a decent tight end. I think this offense is going to be good. I don't think it's going to be top 10, but I can see 12, 11-ish.
Yeah, I tend to agree. So we'll get to the wide receivers here in a second. So do you know how old Trevor Lawrence is?
I think he's 25, 26, right?
Yeah, he's going to be 25, 26. Doesn't he feel like he should be 28, 29, like 30? Right?
He's had some weird coaches, man. Just keeps recycling coaches.
Don't be surprised, and this is kind of one of my bold predictions here, but do not be surprised if you see Trevor Lawrence take a path similar to what Baker Mayfield ended up doing. Not necessarily leaving the teams, but watch him. The kid's talented, super talented. He's getting the players around him. He's getting the right coaching. I don't know if it'll be this year, but I can see him being a top 10 quarterback down the road. Just keep that in mind. So, I like him. I like him. I like him. I like him. I'm not going to reach for him, let him fall to me. There might be some other guys I like a little bit better, but I do like Trevor Lawrence. Moving on to running back, ETN, Bigsby, the rookie Tootin. Very, very tight as far as position rankings and ADPs and rounds. So a lot of rumors around ETN. Bigsby might take over if they trade ETN. Tootin's an interesting talent. Justin, what are your thoughts with this running back backfield?
I think the pendulum swing on ETN is too far. I like him this year, like 9th round. I think he's going to be a starter. I think he's the best pass catcher out of all of them. Tootin seems to fumble. Liam Combs already alluded to that he has fumbled in practice a few times.
Very first carry.
Yeah, I thought Tank would be better, but I think Travis Etienne can really fit this offense and what he's looking in a bigger version of Bucky. Like Travis Etienne, I know he wears number 1 and he looks small. He is not a small running back. He is at least 210, 215. He's a big dude. Yeah,
and they're very similar. Tank Bigsby and Etienne, very, very similar in what their back is. They're both 215. Interesting. Bigsby did have 7 touchdowns last year. He fumbled 3 times, but he was about looks like just shy of 800 yards on 168 carries. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a split backfield and we're just riding the hot hand. I like Tank. I think Etienne may be a little more talented. Tootin's got a shot if he can figure out a way to hold on the ball because he fumbled in college and he's nervous rookie coming in, and you alluded to it already. Fumbled his first carry in the NFL and OTAs. So, but let me pull up real fast. I want to look to see who else is in this area of draft for running backs. Because I was going to look and I had forgotten.
I feel like the Tootin stuff has been a little bit much for me. Like whether it's analysts or whatever. Mostly on Sundays, that's when I try to consume as much fantasy football as I can. I feel like Tootin's getting like crazy pushed up. Like in every other year, I feel like he would not be drafted because you have to get past ETN and you have to get past Bigsby, which is saying a lot.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking through. There's not anybody that I'd want in those areas. If you've missed out on a running back, ETN with a Bigsby is not a bad combo, especially for best ball. But if it's just redraft leagues, your garage, grandma leagues, whatnot, I don't think it's terrible to have them. And then we just got to monitor it close. But there's not really anybody in there that I would like with the amount of upside. So Ray Davis is in there, which I do like Ray Davis, in which we talked about that last episode. So if you haven't seen that, go back and watch it for sure. But lots there. Moving. So this is the area, and I purposefully save these guys for last. So Brian Thomas Jr., Hunter, Diami Brown, an 831, 82, 1471 and 243 in ADP, 2nd and 6th round if you want these guys. But Justin, I'm going to tee it over to you. Your thoughts specifically on BTJ and Bryant and Hunter.
Yeah. So BTJ, I think Matt was high on him and I wasn't, because I was like, man, in college he ran a slant and go. That's all he did. He proved me substantially wrong. I did not think he'd be that great. In one of my dynasty leagues, I actually took Trey Benson and Jonathan Brooks over him. I took those two over Brock Bowers and BTJ, and I think about it every night before I go to bed and just want to punch myself in the face for thinking it. So this year I just went best player available, which hopefully works out for me. BTJ's a dude. I saw a thing on YouTube. I was just watching YouTube shorts about who should realistically be the wide receiver 1 in Dynasty, because I'm big in the Dynasty right now and just try to do some roster adjustments. And this guy brought up BTJ and Malik Davis being the wide receiver 1 over Chase Jefferson, all those guys, which is a hot take, but like I can see it. Like BTJ is a dude. Like he's younger. I think he's attached to a good quarterback. I think he's gonna be he's a good player. I think I would still take Nico over him, but because Nico, I got Nico off the waivers in a dynasty league, so I'm like he's my baby. So I think I'd still take Nico over BTJ, but
I mean, so hear me out with BTJ. 87 receptions on 133 targets for nearly 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. That's 65% of his targets that he caught, which is awesome, right? So now you can no longer double him. Travis Hunter, I believe, has the potential to be a top 10 wide receiver in this first year.
Preach it, man.
The dude is talented. Look, I have completely flipped as I gosh, I don't know. As I sit there and kind of talk about, okay, let's look at sorry, I was reading your private message. We'll get there. So as I went through and looked at Hunter, and I'm watching his college film, and I get it. In Colorado, he was a good wide receiver. I thought he's a better DB. I really think he's a lockdown DB. 100%. But the more I watch him run routes, the more he's just one of those players that makes it look so easy and gets open, finds ways to get open. He's just talented. There is no way they're not going to use him on offense. Yep. It's not possible. Do I know for sure which way they're going to go? It's like, oh, he's going to start him on defense and get him, I don't know, a few catches on offense. That's possible, but you don't need that many catches per game to be a top 10 wide receiver and a few scores. So it's like, all right, maybe this is doable. 6 catches, 5 catches. We'll get you up there for sure. But if he's tearing it up, he's going to be on offense. I like the kid. I am completely comfortable drafting him in the 6th round. If I went RB, and he's my number 2 wide receiver all day long.
Yeah. So I think to add on to Matt's point, like just follow the money. The Jaguars traded up. They basically gave an extra 1st round. Just look at salaries between corners and wide receivers. There's some wide receivers that are making $40 million a year. I think Pat Surtain is making 25-ish, and he's definitely the best corner in the league, in my opinion. Steenley as well. They didn't trade up for just a corner. Okay, this guy is a wide receiver. I think predominantly his focus is going to be wide receiver. He is freaky athletic. Like, I get he's slender. That's a little scary. That's the only thing that concerns me both ways. He's just slenderly built. Hopefully he can put on some more weight in the NFL. I think 8 weeks in, we're going to be like, okay, the 3 best duos in the NFL are the Eagles, the Bengals, and the Jaguars. Like, that's how good I think this duo. They're going to be scary. This offseason, I basically traded A.J. Brown for Travis Hunter. That's what I did. Because I'm like, I'm going to bet on this guy because I think he's really talented.
And so I'm going to circle back to Trevor Lawrence to understand what we're trying to do here. If we're saying Bryce Thomas Jr. is a top 5 wide receiver, and we say Travis Hunter is a top 15, top 10, your quarterback has to be a top 7 quarterback, right? So understand that that's how that game's played. So pretty exciting for the Jaguars. We have high hopes for them. We both agree. Strange is a position ranked 24. Give me your thoughts on Brendan Strange, Justin. Why you like him?
If he is not rostered in a dynasty league or whatever, if you did a redraft league and you're a psycho, that's crazy. That's great and everything. But if he is not rostered, he needs to be rostered. He is a good tight end that can block, play a little bit inline, traditional. inline tight end. He's going to catch some balls, probably 50 to 60. He's going to be a startable asset, just depending on matchups.
I 100% agree. He is he's just turning. He will be 25 in December. He is going to now. If he's going to break out, it's going to be now. So last year, 53 targets. He caught 40 of them, 2 touchdowns for 411 yards. I don't see that's easy. He can 25% increase and be a very good tight end for you. So
yeah,
I like him.
Just to put this in perspective, again, we're trying to mirror everything that the Bucs did to what the Jags did. So K. Dotton, who same age, he's 26, so same size, played 14 games, finished as a tight end 13 in half PPR. In full PPR, he finished as a tight end 14, 87 targets, 59 catches, 600 yards, 4 touchdowns. Probably right in that ballpark is where you're getting with Strange. He is a very good startable asset. He is not going to wow you. He's probably not going to have any big blow-up games, but he's probably going to have 4 catches, 40 yards, and maybe surprise you sometimes with a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm just going to see if I can do a game log here real fast, just kind of see.
Yep.
You're
looking for 8 to 12 points, and I think you're happy on the week.
Yeah. No games over 100 yards, but he did have a game against the Jets where they lost. He was 11 receptions on 12 targets for 73 yards. So more than capable. At that point, they were checking down to him, probably not wanting BTJ to do anything, and he became a valuable asset there. So certainly is capable of producing good numbers. Titans in our very last group. This one's tough. They missed the playoffs 4-13 last year. Really, Justin, you got them not much better than what they were last year at 5-12.
No.
They did have the number 1 pick. They took Cam Ward. Again, if you just look at, you can ignore the position rank and the ADP. Just look at the draft round if that's helpful to you. There's nobody better than a 6th round pick, and it's Tony Pollard. Some of them aren't even going draftable. So let's start with Cam Ward. He's starting. He's going to go. I think he's got a decent chance to be a top 20 quarterback. We'll see. But thoughts with this offense and the people that are around him?
I really loved how they have built this, at least inside out offensive line wise. Lloyd Cushenberry, Peter Skoronski, Kevin Ziegler, who they signed from Detroit, who's a really good guard. They went out and got Dan Moore, gave him a crazy amount of money. I don't think he's great, but he's serviceable. Then they have J.C. Latham. So I really like how the offensive line has been built. Drop your quarterback in, then surround him with playmakers. I think with Cam Ward, there's a lot of misconception about what he is. He is very much a passing quarterback. The highest yards he's ever had is 204 at Miami. He only rushed the ball 60 times. Again, he doesn't run the ball a ton. So just keep that in mind. All his stuff is going to be passing. Again, you can see by their depth chart, their wide receivers is not very intimidating. You probably have to Google some of these guys to know who they are.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see. I think he is a very much a better prospect, and everybody knows this about Mayonnaise Man and Will Levis. He's going to be the starter. And I know you loved your Mayonnaise Man a little bit for a while, but and had high hopes for him. But
yeah, he was.
So, but he's not it. But we'll see. I'm probably steering away from Cam Ward. I think Dynasty. He's definitely worth a grab, a stash, and see how he does. The kid's talented. Moving on to running backs. Really, I mean, Pollard, Spears, neither one of them interested in at all. I don't think there's really much to talk about either one of these guys.
I think 0 RB Tony Pollard's a really good person to add in the 6th round. If you're drafting your running back, you're drafting your first running back in the 6th round, you're going 0 RB. I think he's a very good running back to have. Like him and Etienne, they're going to get fed. Tony Pollard was having a good year before. Again, like I said, they've invested on the O-line. Their O-line should be good. They have one of the best O-line coaches in the league in Callahan. So just be on the lookout for that. If again you are going 0 RB.
Let me look around. Tony Pollard. Yeah, you're probably right. There's not much around him as far as running back wise. If you want to get David Montgomery a little earlier, but as far as behind that, not a lot of. There's just running back so deep this year. Man, I can find better ways to get it. Maybe in a league if I'm trying to get a third running back that falls to me. Pollard's not bad, but if we'll go to wide receivers, but if Ward does well, I think there's a couple of wide receivers, maybe 3, that'll help him. Ridley for sure. I think Ridley turns 30 this year, if I'm not mistaken.
He's a very old wide receiver. Doesn't feel old. He's old.
Yeah, and I think he's probably got at least one more year in him. Let me look here. Yeah, where's he at right there? Yeah, he's 30. He doesn't turn 31 until the end of the year. I think that's a very good wide receiver for Ward to have. Lockett to me is super old, not interested. Treylon Burks is a bust in my eyeballs. I didn't even put him on here. Van Jefferson's there now, maybe, but again, nothing for me.
Nope.
The 2 guys that I'm interested in, I want to let you talk about Xavier, Justin, and your thoughts on him. You like him maybe a little more than I do, but go ahead.
Just to pedal back on Ridley. Are you going to talk about, Matt? Or are you going to talk about Dyke?
Yeah, I'll talk about Dyke if you want to talk about Ridley, and Xavier.
So again, like Matt's point, like they're going to throw the ball, and like looking at all these guys, like none of them are going to command a high target or ever had a high target share besides maybe Lockett, who is old as father time itself. Okay, and Calvin Ridley. Okay, Calvin Ridley has had 1,000-yard seasons. Again, he's kind of older, but he came to the league as a 24-year-old, so that's why he feels so old when he hasn't. I think he's only on a second contract, if I believe right. Because he got traded to the Jaguars, was a free agent, got signed by the Titans.
Yep.
He's going to get a lot of targets. Okay, so if you're playing the volume play, I think he easily finishes as a top 15 to 20 wide receiver. Just because he's going to get the volume. He's still a good route runner. He had freaky speed, acceleration out of his cuts. He's always been that. So I think he is someone very good to get at the very end, those 7th round, 8th round, because I think he will drop based on this offense. Restrepo, again, if you don't know, was Cam Ward's right-hand man, his check down guy, his dude at Miami. Restrepo ran like a 4.8 at the combine. Like, it was not good. He later came out and said he was dealing with some hamstring stuff. At practice, he looks fast. I mean, again, it's all camera based, so you can't really tell how fast they're going, but he does look good. They're already saying he is running with the first team. So again, Dynasty, best ball, redraft. I think he would be a good waiver wire ad in redraft. I think he needs to be on Dynasty rosters.
Yeah, and this is so very similar to Xavier. I kind of like Shamir Dyke too. The reason why I like him, because I'm getting the vibes, and we'll see how training camp goes. This is more FYI than anything else. That CJ Stroud and Tank Dell combo. CJ Stroud told ownership, said, hey, we need to get Tank Dell. The exact same thing happened with Ward and Dyke. They both came from Florida. They're both there and said, hey, go get my guy. Go get my guy. We need to get him. So keep an eye on him. He's not being drafted. Heck, he was a 4th round draft pick, so he's kind of in that area. But keep an eye on him. He is intriguing to me. When a player says to go get a player, sometimes that can pay off, and you're like, oh man, right? I guess, like I said, keep that in mind. Keep an eye on him, which is Shamir Dyke. So
there is one more guy.
Yeah.
There's one more guy that Matt left off. It's Eric Iomaner from Stanford. Yeah. If you go watch his highlights, he's the guy that routed up Travis Hunter. He absolutely obliterated Travis Hunter when he was playing corner against Stanford. He is a sneaky ad, a good wide receiver. He's big. I'm pretty sure he's listed wrong on Tennessee's thing, because I'm pretty sure he's like 6'6". Like, he's a big dude. I just
Yeah,
can't. say
ESPN has him
everything.
at 6'2". They have him at 6'2", 206.
Oh, okay. I thought he just looks substantially bigger. But he's just a big dude that could get some time again, drafted the 4th round like Dyke was. But someone to look out for.
Yep, for sure, for sure. Love it, love it. Chigo Conquo, we've been talking about him forever. Again, sneaky pick. He's got to try to stay healthy. A 16th round guy, late round flyer. I don't see it. The only thing maybe is if you got a rookie quarterback. Sometimes those rookie quarterbacks will lean on their tight ends, so that's a possibility. I do think he'll finish better than what he's at 26 right now, but probably don't need him. I'll probably have 2 tight ends before I get to him anyway. Anything to add to that, Justin?
Yeah, I'm not drafting Chig. I'm done on that train.
Yeah.
He had his chance and he lost it.
Yeah,
I'm done with the
trying to
Titans,
remember
man.
how old
I
he
had
is.
high hopes for them and they just pooped the pants.
Yeah, and he'll be 26 here in September. So Jig, probably staying away from him. Super late if you're willing to roll the dice a little bit. Scared money don't make money for sure. So that being said, hey, we want your feedback. I added this slide this time around. Do you guys agree or disagree with what we're talking about? This is projections. Put comments in. Let us know. We want feedback from you guys. We don't pretend that we know everything. We certainly don't. We are trying to be, if we're 65% correct, you are doing very, very well in the industry. So let us know. Leave a comment in. Let us know what's up. And yeah, we want to hear your feedback for sure. And while you're doing that, don't forget to like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and we love hearing you guys' comments. Well, Justin, we zipped through pretty good. We made pretty good time today.
Proud of ourselves.
Yeah. Anything surprise you today? Anybody you're like, wow, you're like, no, yes, no.
I just think the more and more we talk about the Jaguars, I'm like, dude, they're gonna win this division. I don't know how. The only thing that is basically holding me back is that Texas defense will be a top 5 defense. They are scary, scary, scary on defense. They got really good They got 2 good edge rushers. They got good safeties, got good corners. Like, that defense is going to be tough. So watching the Texan Jags, I don't think it's a very regional game for us because it's so down south. But those games are going to be good because they got some fun offenses.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. There is a lot more to come. We will be with you guys next Sunday for sure. We will hit. Are we in the NFC or we got one more?
No.
I feel like we got one more.
AFC West, baby, the toughest division in football.
Yes. That will be a fantastic one. We're hoping to have Chance here for sure for that one. Hopefully we'll cross our fingers. He is busy in the farm world for sure, staying plenty busy. But I guess until next time, final words from you, Justin, and then we will get out of here.
Nico Collins is him. He is baby Julio. That's why I love him so much. He's a nasty wide receiver. Yeah,
I agree. If you are not practicing or drafting right now, I strongly encourage you to practice. Practice makes perfect. Get in there and practice. We want you to win your leagues. Tell us your thoughts. What are you finding? What are you seeing out there that we're missing? But get engaged. We love having you part of our channel. But from this time till next time, we will see you guys next week. Have a good one.